reacts, and I react to women's basketball, either collegiate or pro. Today I'm going to talk about the NCAA, so collegiate, and we're going to cover the first round of the NCAA tournament. So let's go into the games. I'm going to give a little breakdown, a little recap of what's going on. So first of all, on the first day, which was a Friday, March 22nd, we had South Carolina versus Presbyterian. That was pretty cute, fun game. I love to see Presbyterian out there. They played against South Carolina earlier in the year, or the end of last year actually, in December, and they I think they lost by over 60 points, but this game I think they only lost by like 50 something. So it's an improvement. You can always put your head on that, and the fact that they won their first four was pretty exciting. So hats off to them. But kind of knew how that game was going to play out. The next game, you can see here. I'll go through.
Amelia, unlock the door.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Hold on.
Why not?
Did you forget something?
My protein shake.
100 innovative companies.
Wow. The ads on here, they be added. And auto started, which is ridiculous. Anyway, so let's keep going. So Drexel versus Texas. I did not watch this game because look at the game. It was a 42-82 score, pretty much a blowout. Kind of saw that coming. Ohio State versus Maine, 57-80. Pretty much not a blowout, but not a close game. Same for Norfolk State and Stanford, but Norfolk State is I believe they're from the HBCU schools, and they are really good in their league, and they like win their championship every
Turn
time.
simulation off.
Tisk, tisk, Marcus. Did you forget
Forget what?
your chem exam?
This is pretty annoying. Wow, gonna have to deal with that. It might go off every time I'm like in here, which is ridiculous. All right, so keeping it going, you got the LSU game versus Rice, which was crazy because it was actually kind of close, and they actually lost it. 2 quarters. They lost the second and the fourth quarter, which is wild. It's like, why are you losing quarters? But they did. Kind of funny because what happened to Louisville later on that I'll talk about. But yeah, that game was kind of close, but interesting. I did watch it. And then there was the Eastern Washington versus Oregon State. I did not watch that game. Clearly, we knew Oregon State was gonna win. They're pretty strong team. You have Marshall versus Virginia Tech. Again, a blowout. I did not watch that, but hats off to Marshall for getting there. Portland versus K-State. Kind of interesting. It wasn't a blowout, but it was kind of close considering the situation. But Kansas State pulled it out. Vanderbilt versus Baylor. I'm actually surprised by this. Vanderbilt, was in the first 4. Congrats to them. They haven't been in the NCAA tournament in a long time. So this was their second game. And they didn't pull out. It was a big gap, but pretty proud of them, though, for how far they came. And Shay Ralph, their coach, she's pretty strong. So I think that they're going to go far. Next year, they'll definitely be back in the tournament for sure. Then we had Drake in Colorado, which a lot closer than I thought it would be. Colorado started off kind of slow in the game, but they pulled it out, so it was fine. But kind of interesting. Now the big one, the one that is like, whoa, what happened here? Middle Tennessee versus Louisville. It was close the entire time, and Middle Tennessee pulled it out, which was very shocking. Did not see that coming. And Louisville lost on LSU court because they were the hosting team. And if they would have won, they would have won against LSU, which would have been very interesting because Haley Van Lith used to be with Louisville. So it would be like, oh, going up against her own team. But embarrassing. They got upset in the first round. Ooh, not good. Then we move on to Texas A&M and Nebraska. No, this was a very close game, and I kind of thought it would be, and I had a feeling Nebraska was going to win, but I was hoping Texas A&M was going to win. They're a really good team, and I respect the coach. She used to be the coach in Georgia, and she's great, and I'm not surprised that they were able to get this far and almost get the win, but couldn't pull it out. They did win the last quarter, though, so that's interesting to note. Then you had Richmond and Duke. I did think that Duke was going to pull it out. Kara Lawson is just too good. She's got a lot of great freshmen, and I figured they'd go a couple rounds before they got knocked out. Now, Maryland versus Iowa State. Now, that was an interesting game because Iowa State was losing pretty badly and then came back. I think they were down like 20 points, and because their freshman, Audi Crooks, scored 40 points, which is like the first time ever anyone scored 40 points in the NCAA tournament, let alone a freshman. And this was their tournament debut, also. Freaking wild. She's great. The only thing that sucks is I did hear there is, because she got more coverage, there was some negative things said about her online because she's a big girl. She's a larger girl, but she's mostly muscle. She's really mostly muscle. It's just like a little bit of extra on top. And she's 18. She's a fucking child. So it just makes me mad when people online attack children. Whatever. She's gonna lean out. She's gonna be fine. She's gonna be a beast as she gets older. It's gonna be crazy how good she's gonna be. And then think about when she goes pro. And she's all around. I heard that she sings. She's an artist. She's like an all around person. She's not just a basketball player, and I love that. She reminds me of Danielle Adams. And Danielle Adams used to be in the WNBA. Now she only plays overseas, but she's amazing. And I want to show some clips of Danielle because I feel like it would really kind of understand her Audi Crooks' size and how she plays. So I found this clip from 10 years ago when San Antonio was the Silver Stars, not what they are now, which is Las Vegas Aces. But this was before they moved.
Entry for Adams. Lays it up and in. Willingham went for the steal.
This music.
For DA.
And from the key,
Adams, three.
bam.
Adams on the left.
She goes inside. Yep, no one can stop her. From three.
Wing, 3 DA. Got it. Danielle Adams.
I miss her so much.
Johnson with Danielle Adams, 2-on-1. Bounce to DA, lay it in, and foul.
Yeah. She reminds me so much. Oh my god, Danielle Adams and Audi Crooks are like very similar to me.
Lob for Adams. She's in deep over Willingham. Count it and one.
Right. And now that was 10 years ago. This was from last year, I get the 2022 season and the 23 season. She's playing in Israel, and this is her now. So this is like 1 year ago versus 10 years ago. See? Can't stop her inside. She's too strong. That fade away! Oh my god. I love it. Bam. Alright, I think that's enough. I think that proves my point. Like, Danielle Adams is a larger person, and she was killing it in the WNBA. And I feel like she kind of like didn't make teams because people had preconceived notions about her, but she was freaking great. And honestly, a lot of players make more money overseas, so she's probably like just cut her losses and like, I ain't gotta deal with it, I'm just gonna play overseas. But Audi reminds me exactly like Danielle Adams. They have the same kind of play and the same kind of build, so I'm like, I see where this is going. She's gonna be amazing in the future. Can't wait. All right, and then the next game was Michigan State versus North Carolina. Very close game, but usually 8-9 games are close like that, so I wasn't shocked by that. Surprising that the last two quarters were what they were. They were kind of tied here, and then North Carolina lost in the fourth quarter, but somehow pulled it out. And then we have Florida State versus Alabama. Kind of shocked that Alabama did this. I thought Florida State was going to be a much stronger game, but nope, it didn't work out that way. So yeah, all right, and then that was Friday rather. So today is Saturday is when I'm filming this, and this was today's games. So let's go to the next day. Oh, all right. So we have. Oh no, this is gonna start auto playing or something. Oh Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. So we have Holy Cross versus Iowa, which was a really good beginning because Holy Cross was holding them to it. Like, you see that first quarter, they were giving it to Caitlin. They were actually defending her, which is, I was like, I wish people would do. I don't think people actually defend her, and they actually did, and it was frustrating her, and it was kind of funny to see. But of course, Iowa pulled it out, and her other teammates came up, and she came up eventually after she got over people actually guarding her, and they pulled it out. Pretty big win, 65-91. But this is Holy Cross's like second time in the tournament, so hats off to them. They are a very strong team, very very well deserved to be in the tournament. And all right, the next game was Texas A&M Corpus Christi versus USC. I knew that USC was going to do fine here. I am surprised that Texas A&M Corpus Christi made it into the tournament, but what do I know? And then Kent State versus Notre Dame. Of course, Notre Dame put it away. Hannah Hidalgo, Sonia Citron, Maddie Westbelt, like they had it good. The only thing about the Kent State Notre Dame game that I wanted to point out was it's kind of sad because Kent State didn't have anybody behind their bench. There was like no support, so none of their people traveled to see them. At least they didn't sit behind them. So that was kind of awkward because like the whole arena was kind of full because it's a Notre Dame home game, but like that just big ass section behind the Kent State bench was empty. It was so weird, so strange. All right, and then the next game, California Baptist versus UCLA. In the beginning, I was like, ooh, California Baptist coming to play, right? But of course, UCLA got their shit together and put it away. But at first, I was like, what is happening right now? Are they gonna win? Let me see. Do I have any notes about the UCLA game? I don't think so. It just is what it was. And then Jackson State versus UConn. Of course, UConn. You got Paige Beckers. You got Aaliyah Edwards. They're going to do what they're going to do. Chattanooga versus NC State. Big blowout game. Well, it's not blowout. It's 20 points. But Fairfield versus Indiana. I thought Fairfield would come and be pretty competitive, and they were in the first two quarters, but they lost steam in the third and fourth. So, but I knew Indiana was gonna win it. But it was getting it was tight in the beginning. I was like, whoa, what is happening here? UC Irvine versus Gonzaga. Of course, Gonzaga is with the Lynch twins. That wasn't going to happen. Or UC Irvine didn't have a chance. And then we had Florida Gulf Coast and Oklahoma. Now that was a game. Oh my goodness. FGCU had a big lead in the first quarter. And then even at the end, it was a thriller. It was like the last 2 minutes. And they're at Oklahoma, so this would have been embarrassing, okay? Very embarrassing if they lost. But they didn't. They pulled it out at the end. Because not only on their home court, but it's a 12 seed, and they're a 5 seed, so that would have been like, ooh. But it was literally the last second, 1 second to go, and 70 to 73, and FGCU could have tied it. They hit the rim when they shot it, and it just didn't work out. And they had this really great play that they did. It was kind of wild, but didn't work out. I hope to see them next year because they were awesome. And then you had South Dakota State versus Utah, and Utah did really well in the first quarter, as you can see, and then the second quarter they fell apart. It was like, what is going on? What is happening right now? But they got it together, and Alyssa Peely got it together basically, and they were fine. Then you had Green Bay versus Tennessee. Tennessee's got Rickea Jackson and Jewel Spear, so they were fine. And they put that game away. It was a little close in the beginning, but they put it away. And then Arizona versus Syracuse. I knew this game was going to be tight. I love Arizona. I think they're a really great team. And they made it out of the first four, which I knew that they would. And then Arizona was going in with the lead in the third quarter, I was like, ooh, this might happen. But Arizona only had 8 players. They have a whole bunch of injured players, so they only had 8 players to play, and then they started getting in foul trouble. So I was like, ooh, this might not work out. And then in the fourth quarter, Deja Fair happened. Deja Fair went off, and she had 32 points, and she scored the last 15 points for the team. And so what are you gonna do? It's Deja Fair. The thing about Deja Fair is people don't know is she is on the all-time leading score list. Okay, so it's Caitlin Clark. I don't know who's number 2. Number 3 is Kelsey Mitchell, who is in the WNBA right now, and who is on Indiana Fever. So her and Caitlin and Kelsey are gonna be teammates. And then Deja Fair, I'm pretty sure, is number 5. I don't know who number 4 is. And number 5 is Deja Fair. And everybody's sleeping on her. She's 5'6", She's just all muscle, and she can play. I can't wait to see her in the pro because she's gonna make a team, no doubt. She's amazing. But yeah, you can see Syracuse pulled it out. So, but it was only by 5 points, and it was tough. That was a fun game to watch. Then you had Marquette versus Ole Miss. I knew Ole Miss was gonna win, but it was a little competitive. Marquette brought it. They did bring it, but Ole Miss finished it. UNLV versus Creighton. Kind of knew that would be a close game. I didn't know who was going to win, but I knew it would be close. And then Michigan versus Kansas, 72-81. So Kansas pulled it out. 8 and 9s are always kind of tight, but it was a decent game. And then lastly, Princeton versus West Virginia. Holy crap, I thought Princeton was going to win this game, but West Virginia was like, oh no, wait a minute. The Ivy League teams are pretty strong, and they get discounted a lot, but West Virginia was like, not today, sir, not today. But yeah, it was a really good game. Really enjoyed those. So it was really very exciting. The only upset was Middle Tennessee over Louisville, and I'll even show you my bracket right now. I've only lost. That's the only thing that happened is that game threw me off. So my bracket is like 99.5% correct because of because the only thing that I messed up on was Middle Tennessee and Louisville, because I was certain Louisville was gonna win, and then they would go against LSU and then lose. But little did I know. But yeah, everything else I was actually correct on, and so my bracket is relatively intact for now. The second round starts tomorrow, and it'll be Monday and Tuesday, I believe, or is it? No, it starts tomorrow, so Sunday and Monday will be the second round. So I'll also do a video on Monday, kind of summarizing, doing a little recap of what happened as well, and what games I was able to watch, because it was so hard to watch all these games because there's just so many of them. But with the second round, it's a little bit less. It's like half as many teams. So hopefully it'll be easier to report, and I can actually watch a full game, not clips, not clips. Yeah, but fantastic. Really loving this this tournament right now. It's really fun. I'm excited for more upsets. Hopefully, cross my fingers, there'll be more upsets tomorrow. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.